Hello, everyone. We are back for day 3 of Gavin Starts a New Raid episode.com. Adventures through Raid with Gavin.com. Adventure episodes of Raid for the first time in the year 2024.com. These are all real websites that I've created. You believe me, right? Anyway, this is what we got in our farming session. It looks like we really didn't get any luck at all. That's too bad. But we can at least now try to finish off the um, the tournament, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Not sure. It looks like it's about 9 hours left. Just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Sorry that I'm a little out of breath. So give me a good chance to catch up. How are you all this evening? Who else is starting a new game for 2024? Who else is interested in the upcoming tournament that's been proposed by some of the other raid content creators? And look at this. I mean, I was expecting to have to do a mad dash to finish it, and we already cleared it yesterday, apparently. So let's just grab the gear. Let's just grab the gear and be happy with that. I'm not going to worry so much about trying to come in first this time. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll just take the speed gear and we'll build it, maybe. I don't know. We could roll it up a little bit. We'll probably use some of it just because it's going to be good gear. So we'll check the market. We got a mystery shard. That's always good. These gauntlets have speed subset. Let's get them. They might be good as well. Why not? And we got a second yeoman, which might help with pushing through Fire Knight. Nothing terribly intriguing down here, so we won't bother unlocking that yet. Also, let's just go to my notes for a minute. I looked into this and I didn't screw up. I thought maybe I screwed up by not entering like the game through a special promo link because they used to do the game that way. But I took a look at the advert and the password is just get Oboro. So I put them in this order because this is the order I think is the best. Maybe I'll even go back to episode 1 and just put this as a little note on the bottom. I'll try to remember to do that. Maybe I'll make a note of it myself. Go back. You can't even see this, but go back and place note. But I think Monkey King is the best one because you get Sun Wukong, and Sun Wukong is completely busted. I mean, not just for a new login champion, but I'd say Sun Wukong is maybe the best champion to grace our whole game ever. Period. He's just nuts, amazing. So if you're thinking of starting a new game, Monkey King is the way to go. So he's got a stun on his A1, which can get up to, like it goes from 25% from the start to 50% if they have buffs to 75% if you book it out. And then you got this, which is, I think, the only ability in the game still that can sheep. And it'll strip away any other buffs too, because of course it's just turning your enemy into a sheep. It'll ignore stone skin. It can ignore 100% of defense if you build them right too. So it can be one of the most nukey moves in the game. So this guy, even if you're not sure you'd be able to build him right away, everything in his kit is completely amazing, even in the end game, but also the early game. So why not? The second password then, the power starters, what is it? It's superpowers. This one up here, superpowers. That gets you Deacon Armstrong. And he's maybe one of the best epics in the game. Here he is. And let me tell you why. So with Deacon Armstrong, he's got a speed aura lead also. It works everywhere. Unlike Sun Wukong, which is just the arena, this is everywhere. You get a nice 19% bonus. That's great. His A1 has leech on it, which is actually pretty useful when you're fighting bosses. It can help your whole team get health back. It can be great against clan boss. He has this move, time compression, which fills the turn meters of everybody and decreases the turn meter of opponents. And then it even gives you a free turn. So you just go from this, which is a 5-turn cooldown, books to a 3-turn cooldown, into this with the decreased defense. And if we'd started with Deacon Armstrong, we wouldn't care that we can't get War Maiden because Deacon Armstrong is way better than War Maiden. Um, he's arguably even hotter than War Maiden. Arguably, I don't know. What do you think? But anyway, um, you get the decreased defense, and it goes from a 4-turn cooldown to a 3-turn cooldown to really a 2-turn cooldown when you consider that this goes into this, and then you do this on the off turn. And you can get great combos with the clan boss using Deacon Armstrong. Some people might argue he's an even more important champion to start with than Sun Wukong because some of the best clan boss teams in the game use Deacon. I disagree. I'd go for Sun Wukong anyway, but there it is. And then finally, you've got Get Oboro. Hey, I'm fairly certain this won't work, but let's just try it anyway. Get Oboro. Yeah, it's not letting us. That's not a surprise. It's another one of those uh, starter ones. Um, we can look at her in the index too. Even though she's a Void Epic, I'd say she's still not as good as Deacon. I think really if you're torn between which epic to go for, I'd go for Deacon. Oboro is still very cool. It's just it's harder to get her stuff going. Like she's got this, which can place decreased defense. It's on her A1, so this can never be put on a cooldown. You don't have to worry about that. You can even use it as a counterattack. You can counterattack with a decreased defense and put it on the entire enemy party if you got enough other debuffs going. But that's a lot of situational stuff. And her whole kit is pretty good. She's even got her own revive on death she can put on herself if you build her right. She's difficult to kill, but I think Deacon Armstrong is still the better choice. And then even with those two, I'd say Monkey King is the best one to go to. Anyway, I've gushed about that for long enough. Let's grab some of the free stuff. Every day you get free stuff. The free stuff never ends in this game. They're always throwing free stuff at you, presumably so that you have to come here and then hunt for it. So you see all the other offers that they have. And that's okay. That's the way the business model goes. Free rewards available. What's going on here? Download resources. Hey, I'll take it. It's more free stuff. So we get the daily login. Here we are with the daily login for day 3. There's also the new one. So yes, welcome to day 3. Here's our login. We get the gauntlets. If I recall correctly, these are crit rate gauntlets. They might even be crit damage gauntlets, but I think they're crit rate gauntlets. And that's probably something that we need. Because right now, when building our Kale, we've got 44% crit rate. Really like to get that to 85 because on his Acid Rain, you have an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit rate. So that is useful because it's hard to get to 100% crit in this game, particularly in the early game. And this is another reason why I say the starters are particularly good. And if you're lucky and you pull a Cold Heart, also particularly good, because Cold Heart you only have to build to about 70% to really get the full use of her nuke. With Kale, 85. You're not going to be nuking the whole time, but you are going to be getting 100% crit rate off this. Also, if you design your attack strategy right, or maybe you're just using Kale to campaign farm, and you're campaigning 12-3, for example. In area 12-3, the Brimstone Path, you encounter nothing but spirit champions. And that means because you have the strong affinity against them, you actually get a bonus of 15% crit chance. And that means you only need to build Kale to 70%. So that's even better. So you can build Kale to 70%, you can build him to 85, or you can build him to 100. This is true of most of the starters, with the exception of Elhain, the one that I chose when I first started. The problem with Elhain which isn't even so much a problem, but it just puts more emphasis on having to max out her crit rate. But if your starter was Elhain, you want to be aware that she gets an extra hit on her A1 if it's critical. That can be very important because her A1 is the worst out of the four if it's not a crit, and it's the best if it is. So you want her to crit. So let's look at the gear. So first I want to look at the gauntlets. We can even just filter for the new. So this is the new stuff. So let's see what we got. And it is crit rate. And these are not speed boots, sadly. That's too bad. That would have been amazing. Very first time I did this tournament, I actually got speed boots. I was pretty happy about that. But speed subset, that's good. And that's the only time that happened. Humph. And it's not a great main stat either. But we could still roll it up to 8. And then we can give it to somebody that we want to be fast and we don't care about anything else. So, for example, that yeoman that we built last time. And we got nothing but HP, and this is the nature of the game. We're just not getting the best rolls here. This will roll speed. It has to. It's the only one. That's like the one saving grace of uncommon pieces. If you see them in the shop and they have a substat of speed, you at least know that you're going to roll speed. So 8 speed. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But let's replace these gauntlets, because these are going to be better, and then I can probably find a better shield. I could also consider instead giving the gauntlets to Shield Guard, because we also want to focus on getting him good crit rate, so that he cycles through his moves better. We could even build this up to 12. Why not? Let's build it up to 12. Then I'm going to try to push campaign a little more. I'm actually quite relieved that we don't have to focus too hard on winning this tournament. We can put a nice X next to it. We did it. We don't have to worry about that anymore. It's complete. So we can focus now on the missions and challenges. So why not? Let's do it. So we still got plenty of silver left. And you know what? Of the 3 substats that we could get, HP percent is probably my least favorite of the 3 we could have got. But even HP percent is not bad. Survivability on your main farmer, it's never a terribly bad thing. And let's just, oh, it is 12. Okay. And I am considering giving it to him. It probably still is best up on kill. You know what? We're not going to spread ourselves too thin. I am going to do it this way after all. So we'll put this up now. Now we've got 70% crit rate. That is a lot better. So maybe we can find 2 pieces. One a weapon and then one something else that can increase crit rate by a little bit. Just go to the fitting room. We can even look at equipped stuff. And we could go with these 2 pieces even. And go with substats, crit rate. I'm not seeing anything from the crit rate set, but we could go back to the shield. It just makes his stats better. So that's not a bad idea. We could then scrap this and say, okay, what about... Where is the other crit rate stuff? I'd swear we had some. I guess they're not from weapon or shield. So that makes the decision easy. We'll just take these. It's fine. I could do one last look. Do I have a matching set that are a little bit better on crit rate? Possibly. Possibly from here. We've even got Immortal. One piece of Immortal. That's intriguing. And we have Divine Life. One piece again. I think really our best bet is from here. So why don't we roll these two up to 8? If it gives us a better rate of crit rate and crit damage, potentially, we'll keep it. We will take a bit of a dip in HP percent, but we should already be tougher by virtue of the fact that we've leveled a little more. And we're getting HP percent off that, so that's something. So what about here? This has speed on it, too. You know, even though I'm looking at this gear from the perspective, like I'm still in the headspace of an endgame player, and I'm looking at this gear and I'm just thinking, what are you doing? This stuff is garbage. But it's the best that we have. And again, we didn't get any crit rate. But if we go to the fitting room and we have a look at this, crit rate doesn't change at all. Does the attack get a little better? So we're losing about 600 hit points. Attack gets a little better. Crit damage is ever so slightly better. Speed is ever so slightly better. Accuracy's worse. I don't know. I just don't know. I'll take it. Why not? So let's get into, you know what? We're gonna have another look at him. Come to think of it, let's go to the tavern and let's upgrade his rank. So we got 2 of these guys. So we can upgrade him to 3 right away. We can then go to his gear. And remind me, is there any... Yeah, I wouldn't bother using the second yeoman to book. What I'm thinking is we could try to use the second yeoman just in case we need a second attacker on the Fire Knight shield. So let's see. We've got these gauntlets. They're a little faster. I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs here. We could try this on. We could try this on. And these have a speed subset. It's not the same as a main stat speed, but it's something. And we even got a speed roll. Things are looking up. So 1 speed roll. That's not bad. So we can put these on. His speed's now 146. So I say sure, let's try this against the Fire Knight. Should we try it right now? Actually, why don't we stick to the plan? So we got our progress missions. So we're going to stick to the plan. We're going to push the missions. We're going to push the challenges. And we want to do our dailies as well. So this is complete, complete, complete. Equip a support type with 4 life artifacts. Okay, so this is where we get to the point where it feels kind of like a fetch quest. So support, I know she's support. Is there anything else we're keeping that's support? I think maybe not. So good thing we kept her. So let's give her 4 pieces of life. Just go to fitting room until I'm sure of what I want to do. So we'll try on that one. Might as well give her HP percent when it's available. This is a good one. This is HP percent, if I recall correctly. And that's 4 pieces. Could even go ahead and just give her these. Why not? It practically doubles her health. We may as well keep her around for the time being. She is the best healer we have on the account. So we've completed this, and this, and this. And we're going to focus on the champions one as well, because some of the champions ones, as you get later into the game, or later into the challenges, rather, it might start to ask you to do something that is a lot of work that you've just finished, but you just finished it before the challenge came about, so you want to make sure you don't miss those opportunities. To upgrade a rare, epic, or mythical champion skill. So we're going to make it a rare, because that's what we have. So, unless we happen to have a legendary skill tome. No, we don't. We have rare skill tomes, and nothing else. So we'll do this with Kale. We'll just use 1 book for now. And head on back to here. Let's claim it, so we get another book just for that. Summon 6 common champions. Upgrade 6 common champions to level 10. Okay. No problem. This is all about common champions, and upgrade a rare champion to rank 4. So there it is. We already did this with Kale, but the good news is we're going to keep War Priest, so we could do it with her. So let's focus on doing this sheet, shall we? So the summons, that's easy enough. Summon 6, why not 10? Oh, I'll tell you why not 10, because we can't actually fit 10 yet. But let's see. We can... we can upgrade her and put in 2 more. And I'm just going to throw away 1 for 1 last level, because I realize this is part of a daily quest. You just need to build 3 champion levels in the tavern. I find it's always worth it to toss away just like a level 1 champ if you can. Beat a campaign boss 3 times, that shouldn't be a problem. Use 50 energy, shouldn't be a problem. Summon 3 champions. We're definitely on our way to doing that. And fight in the classic arena. Let's do that now. So we'll try this team till it fails. So far, it's been good to us, but we're what, Bronze 2 now? So I'm not anticipating too many crazy teams, but by the time we hit maybe Bronze 4, maybe Silver 1, we might start to see some teams that don't look like they belong. You'll encounter teams where they're just like all legendaries. A team with maybe an Arbiter and a Lady Kimmy and maybe, maybe a Sify, maybe a Krisk, maybe a Warlord. Warlord! But so far so good. This guy's got a Tolog on his team. I don't know how many people are familiar with Tolog. Tolog is one of the skinwalkers. He's a newer rare skinwalker that I actually kind of I like his kit. He looks like he'd be perfect for faction wars. If we get a Tolog, we might even build one. That's how much I believe in it. And hey, look, this team's got a Deacon. I wonder if we can take it. Let's try it. The team could be faster than us if they built their Deacon right, and if that's the case, we're looking at our first loss. You know, it looks like their Deacon should have been faster. Illustrates the importance of going first. So let's go after this one. This looks like a nice, easy team. Don't like leaving easy teams on the table. And we got 20 bronze medals. Cool. So we're even working through this. Now, sometimes it does pay to leave these rewards unclaimed. If they have an expiry date, you kind of want to wait until you need them. But I'd say with the challenges specifically, just take them so that you can get onto the last challenges. Maybe once you're on part 5 of 5 in Champions, you can stop and just leave them there. But until then, I'd go for them right away. It's probably of more value to you to just get it and use it. So let's summon these champions. Oh, I've still got one extra one, huh? All right, I want to just get rid of this extra. Oh, but it's a yeoman. I don't want to lose the yeoman. That's terrible. Well, I mean, the other option is we just expand storage. So I'm into it. And I don't want to spend the gems. Although the gems might be a better deal than the silver, but screw it. Let's just do it. So, and that looks like it's 6. 6 uncommons. So we head back to the challenges. We got that. Now we can upgrade 6 to level 10. And we'll just keep going with them, because then it says 6 to rank 2. Then 3 to level 20, and so on. So let's just start with campaign farming with some food champions. So back to the campaign, and we could try to do 3 at a time. I forget if we struck out in the hallowed halls or not. I don't think we did. Maybe we want to try to do 2 at a time, just in case. I'll try to do 2 at a time. We'll take these 2 dapper gentlemen. Actually, let's take her. She could turn out to be good. She's the only uncommon I can think of that has an area of effect on her A1. And I say on her A1, it's her only ability, right? Most of the uncommons only have one ability. But when you have champions that have an AoE, that gives you some options. You could try putting her in a stun set or a counterattack set, and if you can build her with enough damage and or enough speed, maybe you can get somewhere with her early on. It's not like you're building her for the end game, but again, if you're going to build food anyway, you might as well build food that can actually help you. Now, also, since we actually got the starter tourney complete, I think I'm going to start to observe my 1 hour per day maximum. So I'm going to try and not run over time this time. So we're about halfway there. I'm going to try to limit this episode to an hour. If I run over, I apologize in advance. So it looks like Sun Wukong was the right man for the job here. Poor Kale passed out already. Sun Wukong is great against Skull Crown because he can put the block buffs, preventing her from going unkillable. There we go. Phew. So on to the next region. So it's probably more efficient to do 3 at a time, but we're not there yet. Maybe once Kale's 5 stars, he can survive at this level. He'll probably start faring better when we get towards areas that aren't completely filled with Force champions. Force is kind of the bane of your existence. When I first started playing this game with Elhain, and I started leaning heavily on her, areas like this gave me a lot of grief. Areas filled with Force champions. So you really want to get a little bit of versatility in your nukers. And I think this is the right level of versatility. If it starts to get too hard, I'm not above going back to using 3 farmers. I mean, heck, they're all gaining XP for themselves, except for Kale. Just realized he's level 40. What am I saying? It's time to try to level him up. So there's that buff strip that we love so much. So another place that I'm thinking about farming, I've mentioned this in the past, but I probably won't do it at this difficulty level, is the Palace of Aravia Area 6-6, just to go after speed boots, particularly because we didn't get any, unfortunately, from the speed gear that we worked so hard to get. A lot of that speed gear turned out to not be as good as I was hoping. It's still better than nothing, of course. But farming speed boots from campaign is a pretty worthy use of your energy. Particularly when you consider that you might need to get a whole bunch of different copies of speed boots when you get to the point where you're ready to use those oils on them, because you get the speed main stat on the speed set boots, and then you want to use an oil on the speed boots to get speed boots. I think we whiffed it. I think we're not going to make it. So one solution is we bring in a third heavy hitter. Another idea is we look at, can we upgrade his rank to 5? And you know what? Before we even do that, we go back to the challenges, because on champions, we also want to make sure upgraded a rare to rank 4. We want to do this stuff first before we get Kale to rank 5, I think. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait. So we could do this stuff, though. So we'll go to the tavern. And we don't have any 4-star chickens so far. So we're going to have to make them anyway. Hey, we did get another uncommon. How did I not see that? Okay, we're going to go to upgrade skills. How did I miss the shield guard? Did we somehow get this while I was not paying attention? Anyway, uppercut. Not the most exciting place for it to go. But we'll take it. It's one step closer towards our shield guard being where we want him to be. We'll go back to campaign. And let's see if shield guard can help get us through. So we get the shield guard in. Could even switch to another rare just cuz. Could also switch to this guy, since he's geared to go a little faster. We'll take our best 4. Really, I just want to push to area 12-3. Because Kale probably can farm 12-3 by himself. I think the biggest issue right now is that we're stuck fighting a lot of Force champs that are giving us trouble. So far so good. They can both hit pretty darn hard, and in fact, maybe we should just focus on taking out Sinesha first. Because she does have that healing ability. So next time we see a Sinesha, maybe we'll try to focus on her. Kitus also hits really hard. Then we've also got Deathless on this team coming, so... we'll try to remember to aim for Deathless first. Because the thing about Deathless is she actually does more damage the more of her companions are dead. So you really don't want to accidentally leave Deathless alive too long. So we'll just eliminate Deathless first. These guys put out ally protection. I'm not really afraid of them doing that with one another. I don't care if they make themselves beefy. We just want to not die. They're not gonna buff us to death. Yeah, let's just focus on this last Deathless. Titus also gets dangerous as his health gets low, too. So let's take him out next. The Knight Revenant really has a lot of fantastic champions, even at the rare level. This is what playing through here is telling me right now. It's the feeling that I'm getting. So tons of force. We're up against the force. Really want to push these force champions. Probably a lot of people earlier on might find the Area 11 is just way more difficult than the later areas. Oh, that's actually Renegade. She's not a big deal. Not as worried. I realize she looks like Deathless, but she's not Deathless. So come on, Sun Wukong, we need you to do your thing. Yesterday, I was talking about the various cool rares that can pop out of a Void Shard. And I wasn't thinking of Renegade, but she's another really strong one, as well as Painkeeper. These are two really good rares. If you pull them and you look at their kits, you'll notice they both reduce the cooldowns of their allies' abilities. This is incredibly powerful, particularly if you speed tune them right. Later on in the game, where you want to get through waves quickly, they can help reset all of your big AoE nukes.
Mortal scum! Roared the demon priest as he prepared to deliver his final assault. Dead heroes cannot change the fate of this world. But in a tremendous blaze of might and fury, the company swiftly dealt a crushing blow as the demon priest lay mortally wounded by the fires of fools! You do not see what I see. Then, in one last fiendish effort, he thrust out a hand and conjured a vision in flames of hellfire. It was a vision of their death.
So here we go. We're finally onto the Brimstone path.
Was the sinister prophecy of the demon priest but a sham to prevent them from blazing a trail to the source of evil? Whatever the outcome, our four heroes had no choice but to approach the Brimstone path that led to the very source. Still they strove onward, battled this, the portal. Here they would have to end the corruption.
Get on with it. So, I'm going to try to two-man. I'm going to try to two-man the first stage. See what happens. Because if we can, well, then we don't have to come back. And if we can't, we can. So far, so good. Lord Shazar is maybe the most dangerous champion we're going to encounter in this area because he does this thing where he tries to put bombs on everybody. we got lucky here. Sun Wukong just resisted, but he also weak hits Kale. And this is why having a magic campaign farmer is maybe the best thing of the four affinities. Because if you're doing 12-3, I think it's nothing but spirit champions. Wow, we got really unlucky with the bombs here. Kale might actually die. Oh, just made it. Just made it. So let's try the next area. Am I getting lag? What's going on? But part of what you want to get going with Kale is you want his damage to be there. Right now, it's not. So when we have enough silver, we'll max out the best gear we can. I might hold off on doing that until we get the reset tomorrow, because then we're going to have 4 really good pieces of lifesteal gear, whereas right now we've got 3 really good pieces. The other 3 pieces that are coming, I don't recall if tomorrow is helmets. If it's a helmet, that'll be particularly good, because I'm pretty happy with the other 5 pieces of gear. So now that we're here, I mean, we could try, yeah, we could try to 2-man, so that we don't have to do this again. So if we succeed here, then this is a very good place to try to campaign farm. I don't even know if Lord Shazar is in this wave. When you do this wave on Brutal, you do have to deal with a couple of Lord Shazars, and that can make it difficult. But if you don't, this might be one of the best places. She's also rough. The way she increases her attack makes her damage pretty severe. I forget the name of this champion. So there is a Lord Shazar. So that's something to watch out for. I think he's also one of the fastest champions that you run into in this area, and he's got a speed of 102. So you probably want your speed to be at least that. And to be on the safe side, if you can, and this may not be possible for us for the first little while, but you want to get your speed to 204 or faster on your campaign farmer, because then you can just hit twice. If you can't outright kill them, just be fast enough that you can hit them twice. So, we got it. So I'm going to... And it would be really cool to get this Void Shard today, wouldn't it? If we could just push through to the end, we can pull our first Void Shard. That might be a nice reward for the day. I'm into it. Let's push. How are we doing for time? We're close to 44 minutes. Yeah, I think we got time. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh no. Oh, this is no good. So we've met our match here. Why don't we try also including him then? Maybe we'll also bring her just for the support. She does bring a lot of healing. She's also got a freeze on her A1, which can be handy when you're trying to deal with particularly the likes of a Lord Shazar. We'll just single him out. Wow, that really hurts. Everybody's still in. So let's just focus on the Lord Shazars, if we can, just so they don't kill us. And then Allure, one of the best epics in the game. If we happen to pull an Allure at some point, Fire Knight's going to become easy. It's going to go from really difficult to just straight up easy. with one champion. Allure is such a busted champion. So I've gone off the rails a little here because I did say we'd focus on the missions and challenges, and instead here I am trying to finish campaign. But I'm tempted by that void shard, so I hope you forgive me, and we'll see if it's worthwhile. Right now, I'm already thinking about what champion I want the most. Um, it's Coldheart, honestly. Coldheart's amazing, but there are others that might actually be just as helpful, maybe even more helpful, because really, in terms of nuking power, we've already got it, kind of. We got Kale, we got Sun Wukong, and we've even got Shield Guard to help with the waves. So we got lots of great champions to build, but Coldheart would really help in taking down Fire Knight. She'd really help with the Spirit Keep boss. And really, she's good at lots of bosses. She'd help with the Spider boss, in fact, because she's got a turn meter control as well. So my number one pick, if that Void Shard turns out to be Coldheart, that's my number one pick. So that would be awesome. Number two, maybe a toss-up between, maybe we'll call it a three-way tie. There are three revivers that I'm thinking of. You got Reliquary Tender, who also has a cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. She'd be amazing. You also have Gear Grinder from the Ogre's faction. It was arguably the only Ogre reviver, so you probably need to build him anyway. So if we get him, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to build him, and he can be our main reviver. I'm actually fine with that. So here we're coming up to the final stage. And the third rare reviver that I'd be excited to see would be Tree Shield Knot from the Sylvan Watchers faction. He gets a double revive, so we get him. Last episode, I was talking about the importance of maybe trying to get the fusion working for that lizard man. What's his name? Broadmaw, because you can do a fusion of Broadmaw, and he's got a double revive. But Tree Shield Knot is a rare who has a double revive, the only one in the game, if I'm not mistaken. So, are we gonna make it? I'm not so confident we are. We might not make it. That's rough. We could try again, but I don't know. Here, let's try again. Maybe I'll take it off auto, and I'll just try to hit as hard as we can. So the Lord Shazars could be the most dangerous. So we'll try to focus on them. Nice. Slowed him. He gets bombs on us. We can probably just bash through him. Of course, all our abilities are on cooldown. So we can come out with the AoE. Acid Rain. Let's try to get rid of one if possible. We're already in a slightly better position. Maybe we do this. No critical hits, unfortunately, so we didn't gain any time. Let's go for the healing. Heals a target ally. It's just the target ally. Maybe we'll heal him. Just try to keep everybody standing as much as possible. For as long as possible. Oh, we lost our healer. Alright, get rid of her. Now at this point, I think we're kind of at the mercy of what happens here. He might get a peril at some point, which will completely kill someone. And we'll use the quadruple shot. That gets lots of poisons up. That's the hardest hit for the boss. And without the minions there, yeah, it worked.
By the light of Lumaya,
So
the
here's the
company
ending, the end of the
vanquished
game.
the guardians of Serath and the fell demon Kivos.
I mean, I think. It's
But
the end of
alas,
campaign.
it soon became clear that the priest's prophecy would be fulfilled, for only the combined force of their shards could unleash enough power to seal the dark portal. Our heroes bravely stepped forward and, together, offered the ultimate sacrifice to cast out the shadow from the world. But wait, O champion.
Well,
The story endeth not here.
it's the Arbiter. Story's not over.
For the portal will open again. Surath will return in the shadow. Until that day comes, return to Teleria.
So don't worry.
Hone your skills and
Game's not
seek
over.
out new champions.
Now go grind out a shit ton of dungeons and open your wallets.
You will
Buy
need
some
them
some
all
shards.
soon
Pull some
enough.
champions. Get ready to gamble, people. That's what this game's really about. So, here's our void shard right here. Let's pull it right now. Go to the Bastion. So, and how are we doing on time? Maybe we'll make this the end of the video regardless. So we're at about 52 minutes. Yeah, and then I'll just set up the farming. We'll go after. I think we're just gonna keep farming. Do we want to farm War Maiden? See, here's the thing. I'm torn. We could try to farm War Maiden. We could also try to farm Diabolist. It's better XP anyway. We are gonna have to decide on one or the other uh, by the end of the sesh. But here, let's grab the stuff that we can grab. Maybe we'll even do a couple more arena fights afterwards, but let's see what we pull. Hey, we can even do a progressive chance thing. I mean, just in case. Between these two, between Tremeria and Riho Bone Spear, I 100% would say Riho Bone Spear. And we got Prundar or we got her. I'm actually not sure. They've both got their uses, but you know what? Prundar is good for crowd control, and that's something we're missing. So I'd say Prundar. So we'll confirm this. We will say a prayer to RNGesus. Please, RNGesus, please give us the most badass unit imaginable. And, of course, I would settle for Cold Heart. Or any Reviver. Let's see what we get. It's a rare, and it's Veteran. You know what? Not bad. Veteran is not too shabby. He's got an AoE, which has block buffs. It's not 100% reliable. He scales kind of off defense and kind of off attack, which is kind of irritating. That makes him a little more difficult to build. So I don't know. This is what we got. So we'll take it for now. And that said, why don't we do a few more classic fights? I want to see where we are in terms of the Great Hall as well. At some point, we're going to need to build some of these. We are so far from being able to build anything. 50. So let's use these before they expire. They'll still be here by this time tomorrow, but then again, I am at the very beginning of the next day. I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm wearing the same stuff I was wearing yesterday because yesterday was actually only a couple hours ago for me. So I'm just going to go to the arena and I'm going to use this stuff now so we don't waste it. And this should be pretty fast. Also, it's extra points for that tournament, just in case we catch up enough to come in third. Not that that's the plan. And in fact, I don't think that's going to happen, because if I recall correctly, we were behind by a good 600 points. So at 5 points a pop, I don't think we're really going to make it. And yeah, let's just take the full one. If we can. And we'll go down these in a line. So let's focus on Galek. He's probably the most dangerous person on this team. Heck, maybe the only dangerous one on this team. I see teams like this, and I actually wonder, like, what are you doing? Why are you building Blood Braid? But I have to admit, I don't know much about Blood Braid. In fact, if I recall correctly, she's one of the champions that has heal reduction. I mean, she used a semi-heal reduction on us, but she wasn't fully ascended. So I'm not sure if she's one of the champions that when fully ascended, she has the heal reduction. If so, then I guess that explains why that opponent was building her. Or he just really liked her outfit. Who knows? Got to admit, I mean, that one thing about Bloodbraid, not complaining about her outfit. She's dressed just like War Maiden. So here we go. We've got another thing. We've got more of these things. Let's just collect these so that we can work on the next area. I mean, heck, we have all of these. I think I'm breaking my own rule. Like I said, if you have any of these, you go for them. We've even got an Ancient Shard. We should pull that too. Um, for now, we'll do that at the very end of the video, though. I'm going to go fight this team. Dude, he's got Torux. Another rare that's interesting. I don't know if he's really as good as he's made out to be, but this guy, you don't hit him hard enough, he goes unkillable. But if you do hit him hard enough, he just straight up dies. And by unkillable, I guess I mean block damage. They kind of have the same effect, but they're not exactly the same, and I realize that. But when you have a champion that can start negating damage, or at least going unkillable, in the early game, that can be a godsend. Later on, you end up fighting champions that tend to ignore it. By the legendary level, you have lots of champions that can ignore it. But it can be really helpful early on. So it's another thing that you can watch out for. Just sort of moving around randomly here, too. I know I fib. I say things like, we'll just go down the list, and then I immediately just jump around the list. That's what I'm like. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's like I can't control it. So this has a Sun Wukong. That worries me a little. They also have a Lightsworn, which is a really cool champ to have from the get-go. Let's try to get rid of him first, as quickly as we can. Because he can put, of course, once block buffs was up, it didn't matter. But he can actually put revive on everybody. And that can give you a hard time. This team has our 7-day login champion, Shaman. Let's aim for Shaman, since she can actually revive a champion. And we don't want her doing that. That'll make the fight last longer. This is a tougher team, it seems. Not tough enough, though. I guess another reason I wanted one of those cool rare revivers is it meant we didn't have to worry about Shaman anymore. As well as Broadmaw. Broadmaw is probably a lot better than Shaman. So maybe we'll still put Broadmaw on the list of priorities. Come to think of it, I probably should add that, eh? I mean, it's kind of, I'm going to put a question mark after it. Like, I don't know how important it is we go after Broadmaw. Oh my goodness, this is, I've pushed it too long. Because this is 60 minutes right here. So, full stop. That's it. But we are going to do one last poll because we have it. We've even got some choices here. So there's Sun Wukong, who we already have. There's some good choices here. I have no doubt that Husk is the one we want to go for because he's an enemy max HP hitting champion, although there's a lot to be said for Armina here. if we happen to pull an epic. Orman is a good one. I just think Husk is better. He's got crowd. They both have crowd control. I think maybe that's the theory here. They all have crowd control of some kind. We're gonna go for Ragash. We'll go for Ragash. These are all fairly strong champions, but I really, really like Ragash. Another OP Skinwalker, so we'll confirm this. It's kind of fun that we're actually doing this during an event. We can kind of hope for the best and then say, okay, dear RNGesus, please give us Ragash. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? Or even at least a Husk. Or just someone good. Ooh, I won't get picky. And it's a rare again. Oh, and it's Grinner. Grinner is a reviver. He's a reviver. He's not necessarily the best that there is, but he's got a 4-turn cooldown on his revive. Plus, I think he's got some crowd control. He's removing buffs. No, maybe that's what it is. So he is not great, but not terrible, and it might be better to build him than Shaman. So when the time comes to build a reviver, we'll bear that in mind. So that is actually kind of a cool thing to pull. Let's just queue up the end of day thing. Actually, the market. Anything good in the market? Nah. I actually have this written up above. But basically, you want to check back with the market all month because you get um yeah, I'll even grab some of these extra units. Why not? They're cheap. Um, every month you get 5 randomly generated ancient shards just in the market. They're worth 200k each, so we can't even afford all of them if they all showed up at once, but we probably won't have to. And I also forgot to do this. I'm sorry about this. I am very scatterbrained today. Use 4 XP brews in the tavern, and then summon 5 champions. Uh, okay, let's do this now. So, who needs the XP brews? I mean, we could use them on food. You know what? Let's use them on veteran because it's not like we're going to need this for anyone else. So we'll use them on veteran. They'll get us 20 points. Then we get to here. Summon 5 champions. We will get to that tomorrow. Quests. Let's just make sure we did our dailies. And we didn't. We didn't beat a 3rd campaign boss. So that's unacceptable. Let's beat a campaign boss. Where do we want to beat a campaign boss? Deadlands. So we'll go to the Deadlands, if it lets us. I think I'm okay with this team. So I'm already breaking my own rule, but of course I broke it on the last 2 days. And actually, in the notes above, I said by day 4. So we're okay. Right? This also gives me a little extra time to see if I forgot anything important. Of course, if I forgot anything important and I realize right after I close the video, I can always add it to my notes and cover it tomorrow. So, if you're still watching, thank you for joining me on my journey through the game. Again, I mean, I've done this a number of times, but this is my first time hosting a channel. And I'm quite enjoying it. How are you guys enjoying it? Are any of you playing along with me? I'm frequently playing along with just about any YouTube video I watch. Like if I'm watching YouTube, chances are I'm sitting there with my phone doing something in Raid Shadow Legends. And I think the one time I put down my phone is when I'm doing a video, and then I'm just playing it on my laptop. Curse this addictive game. So that's done. We got our dailies. We've even got these, I guess because I left it logged in. So let's just take everything so nothing gets forgotten. And I think that's it. From the passes, too. From the challenges, use more energy. Forget it. I'm not going to bother with that. So, are we doing Brimstone Path, or are we doing the Deadlands? And you know what? I'm going to do the Deadlands. There's just more stuff to collect here. So I think this is the way to go. I'll do the multi-battles, edit the queue, make sure we've got uh, something good. I guess we want to get the uncommons done. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. We could just put in whoever. We could just put in whoever after that. And confirm. Start multi-battles, hands off. That's it. We've done our hour. So thanks for joining me on my journey. I'll see you again on the next video. Take care.